Good afternoon, guys. So this is our last leg of the trip. We are driving to the restaurant now from NH Collection in Plaza Mayor, and basically I arrived yesterday with 12%, and also like I hit the column in the parking, as you can see in this clip here. Doesn't look too bad. I spoke with Yasha from Outclass. He said he knows someone that can help me remove the dents, and he'll reapply the PPF when it comes to Porto. Thank goodness it seems like the paint was completely protected from the PPF, so it doesn't need to be resprayed, because that would have been a mission. Hopefully, I haven't looked at it properly, but in the video it seems like you don't need to get it resprayed, so that's good news. But anyways, we arrived with like 12%, but now we need to go to Jimenez de Jamuz, I think that's how you pronounce it. And basically we don't have enough charge to get there, so we have to stop at Supercharger León, which is a small supercharger, only four stalls, but at least it's the V3 because it goes up to 250 kilowatts, which means we only need to stop for a short period, and we can head through without being too late to our reservation. I'll also give you guys an update when we're on our way to Porto. But yeah, this trip has been, I think I would do it again, but over a longer period and with more stops, to be honest. I think 600 kilometers, 700 kilometers per drive is a bit hectic, considering you have to charge like once or twice at least. But it was good because I obviously had Phil driving with me as well. But next time I definitely would probably stop every 400 kilometers instead, maximum. And there's a lot of things to see along the way. I mean, there are quite a few things that we wouldn't have seen if we just flew. For example, if we had flown from like Milan to Paris, and then Paris back to Porto or whatever, or to Spain, we definitely wouldn't have stopped at Bordeaux. And Bordeaux is quite a cool city in France as well. So it's quite cool to discover cool things on the way, and some of the roads have been absolutely beautiful. If you haven't watched my previous videos in this series, remember to click on the playlist. This is our 5,000 kilometer road trip, and this is the last leg. So this will be the last video before I do a review video of everything, all that I learned, how much the tolls came to, how much the charging came to, if I got any fines, if I do get any fines by the time I make that video. I definitely got trapped a few times. Hopefully it wasn't too bad. France is particularly bad because Tesla doesn't show you exactly where those traps are, but it shows you a control zone. Speed trap can be anywhere in the control zone, and often it's when the speed reduces from like 130 to 110 to 90 or something. So it's a bit ridiculous, to be honest. But anyways, I'll see you guys shortly. Okay, we have arrived. It says we'll arrive in Bodega El Capricho at 2, but I'll try and get there sooner, and I'll make sure that this charges quickly. No guarantee on what I can do to make this charge quicker. I mean, literally I cannot make the charge quicker. Oh, dirty my pants again. But here's the superchargers. There are only 4, but then there seems to be a lot of slow chargers. I honestly wonder how these work. I've never actually tried them. The reason I haven't tried them isn't because I don't want to use them. It's actually because like I want to go somewhere and charge slowly. So now we are charging. Finley is looking at me through the tinted window over there, and Phil is sitting waiting for us to charge so we can go. Let me take a look. I've got some work to sort out quickly before we head, but it says 7 minutes continued trip. That means we will get to maybe about 25%. I just need to check what the rest of the journey is, because if this is low, I actually need to get it above 20%, because unfortunately my girlfriend and Finley are going to be staying in the car while we have lunch because their terrace isn't open and the restaurant isn't actually pet friendly. They only allow dogs on the terrace, and so she's not going to be able to join us this time, but we will go again if it's good. We managed to move the reservation to a little bit later, so we're not in a rush, and we've charged 60% over I think it was like 30 minutes, and we're going to arrive at Bodega at 2:20. I'll drive a bit slowly so that we can conserve charge. I'm going to put this into the front. Just working on my laptop, just sorting some stuff out, last minute stuff. I'll put this over here. This is my race suit. Oh, it's open. Okay. Don't worry guys, that stuff is soft. Basically, I will now unplug . I must say, the Tesla supercharger is so easy. You just plug in, no fuss. Okay, so let's see. We are at 62%. We should arrive with 43%, and it is about 42 minutes away. But we'll probably get there at about that time because I'll drive slowly, and we'll see you guys on the road. All right, you can see that this is a highway between León City and Jimenez de Jamuz. I think that's how you pronounce it. Anyways, so we are just autopiloting at 127 actually, and it's gonna be a very smooth drive there, and I'll show you guys the results for the consumption. Normally, if I'm autopilot at this type of speed, I'm getting below 200 watt hours per kilometer. Right now it's like 253, I think, going down a bit. I think that may be because it's a little bit elevated and a bit of elevation happening. But let's see what it is when we arrive. It's not a far drive, it's probably about a 60-70 kilometer drive from where we were. It really depends on elevation and wind and all that stuff. But normally I find if you cruise control at 130 or under, you get pretty good range at about 200 watt hours per kilometer. So that gives you almost 400 kilometers on the long range Model Y. So if you're considering buying a Tesla, remember that you must use my referral code to get up to $1,000 or 500 euros off your next purchase. So make sure you use that, and that helps me a little bit as a creator as well. Okay, as I predicted, if you drive at around the speed limit or under 130, you get about 200 watt hours per kilometer. As I said, I've been doing this a lot, so I kind of know what the consumption is going to be. But basically, I was looking at the screen trying to figure out where we need to go and stuff while I was autopiloting, and I got struck out again. So it's been 5 strikes. I don't think I can use autopilot now for a week. Oh well. I mean, we got going home today, so at least we don't have like long travels. I think there's only like this one road trip from here back to Porto, which is going to be about 500-600 kilometers, and I'm not going to drive for a long time after that. I think I'm just going to sleep, to be honest. I'm going to walk and sleep. I'll show you guys the food that we get at Bodega. It was rated the world's best steak restaurant for 2 or 3 years in a row. I think this year, I think it's actually second. Anything top 10 is like insane. This is in the world, guys. It was best in Europe for a bit, and a few years ago it was best in the world. Let me know if you guys have been here before, and let me know your experience. If you guys had a good experience, bad experience, let me know in the comments below. And whether you'd recommend coming here to my other viewers that have never been, because I think the price is actually kind of reasonable for something that is rated best in the world.
Nobody else cares.
This place is literally in the middle of nowhere, guys. We are driving here.
Now turn right.
There's literally nothing else here. I don't think there's anything else here. Let's go take a look. Finley, can you keep quiet, boy? Our viewers are struggling to hear my voice because you're sulking.
You will arrive at your destination.
Okay, so this restaurant, best in the world, is in the middle of nowhere. Wow. Okay, well the restaurant looks, oh wow, the restaurant looks really nice. Damn, it's full. The car park is full. Okay, there it is over there. Bodega El Capricho.
Now you have arrived at your destination.
We should be able to park here. Okay, let's take a look. Okay guys, we have arrived at Bodega, and here's some clips from the kitchen. They allowed me in to take some videos. Wow, you guys, the smell is amazing, even of the raw meat, because of the aging process. I'll let you guys know how the food actually is. But basically, let me do a range review quickly. We drove 66.7 kilometers over 38 minutes. Here's the average speed, and the consumption was 185 watt hours per kilometer. So that was actually really good. Here's the theoretical range with that consumption. And unfortunately, my dog Finley is not allowed to go in because the outside area is not open. So my girlfriend and Finley are going to stay in the car and relax while Phil and I enjoy the best steakhouse in the world. Wow, look at the marbling. It's details of the meat, and you can see it's 1 kilogram of meat, aged for 110 days. Here's some information about the cave that we are sitting in.
The thing is that we have a spices roast and black pepper roast outside the road. And
this is ox mince, 100% ox.
glazed onion, fried cecina, and grilled lettuce bar.
First muscle here,
Yeah.
there's chuck tender next to the neck.
Next to the neck,
3
okay?
months.
3 months, okay?
Chuck tender, okay?
Okay.
Then we have the shoulder blade.
Shoulder blade,
with
yeah?
6 months.
Okay, 6 months, okay?
Yes, dam, the dam with 9 months.
9 months.
And then the last one here is the rib.
Rib, okay?
Yes, with 12.
12 months. Bone marrow. And some accompaniments. Cauliflower cream with some coconut.
It was about 6.5 years.
6.5 years.
And this meat is dry aged for about 110 days today.
Guys, I cannot describe the smell, it's so good. 110 day age, almost 4 months. So we had an excellent meal, and now we're gonna leave now. And basically the car's been on keep and cap mode for the last over 3 hours, 3 hours and 10 minutes. I don't remember what the charge was on before, but let's take a look quickly. In the park consumption, we consumed 6.3% in the past 2 hours. Wait, is it correct? Well, since last drive, since last charge, yeah, 6.6%. That's not bad at all, to be honest, considering that we were parked here for a pretty long time, to be honest. Anyways, we're gonna head off. I'm gonna start planning my trip. I'm gonna see if I can go to a karting track on the way back, but if we go straight back home, let's take a look. Basically, it's 4 hours with 2 stops, arriving at 10 p.m. I'm pretty sure we can stop at a karting track on the way. I'm gonna take a look to see if we can go, but that was an excellent experience. I'm definitely coming back again with my girlfriend next time, so we can sit outside with Finley. And thanks to Big Daddy Phil, he paid for lunch this time. So thank you so much. And actually, my girlfriend got a takeaway. Is a tartare with caviar and gluten-free bread. All right, we're gonna get going now, and we'll see you guys on the road. I started the journey, and I'm navigating to the karting track that's on the way, as well as to home. But you can see we're gonna stop at Bembibre, Spain, and my autopilot is gone. So they've actually made an improvement where if you get struck out and you turn on autopilot, it actually just turns on traffic aware cruise control, which is kind of what you want as well, because what's irritating is sometimes you get struck out and you still want to use cruise control, but you can't, and you have to manually change it in the settings. But I think because you get struck out, it disables autopilot from the options, and the disabled option is the traffic aware cruise control. But anyways, you see we're going to stop at Bembibre, then we're going to stop at Karting Cabanas. What the hell? I'm in the lane. And then we're going to stop at Ribeira de Pena. It thinks I'm leaving the lane, but I'm not. What's going on? Why does it turn the lights on? So weird. I think the car is freaking out. Anyways, we will see you guys when we're at the Supercharger, and I'll give you guys an update of the range. Driving from Bodega El Capricho and arriving at Bembibre, Spain, Supercharger. Okay, we are arriving at the Supercharger, and it is very hot today. You can probably hear from the vents. I'll turn it off for a bit while I make this video. Here is the Supercharger. It's not too far off from the highway, but this part, the roads are starting to become a bit old. But it looks like it's behind the Repsol over here, the petrol station. So down there, oh, V4 Superchargers, great. Can't wait for Portugal to sort out the legislative stuff so that we can get some new V4 Superchargers as well, because the Supercharger fleet in Portugal is starting to get old. Looks like nobody's here, a lot of chargers. So let's take a look at which one I should stop in. I think I drove too far for the autopilot to recognize the parking. Let's take a look. We can just park in this one. These V4 Superchargers also placed differently to the other ones because they obviously wanted to be cross compatible with other vehicles. So you can see that usually they are behind the parking bay. Current drive 71.9 kilometers, 15.6 kilowatt hours over 37 minutes and 216.91 hours per kilometer. I was driving a bit fast on the highway, but here are the theoreticals for you. And if you look at the prediction, here you go. So I did 3.3% more than projected and 10.8% more than rated. Let's go plug in. Buttons always don't seem to work. For some reason the buttons always broken on the V4s. I don't know if they just have worse buttons or people just press them harder, especially third-party people trying to press them to open their thing and it doesn't work, open their charge ports, because obviously it only interacts with Tesla. But it says here we have to charge here for 30 minutes to continue the trip. I'm going to sit in the car and do some work on my laptop, and then we're going to do a quick pit stop at a karting track, see if I can do a session, and then we can head back home. Right now it is 6:19 p.m. and the sun is still really high in the sky because it is now spring, summer here in beautiful Spain. Okay, the charging just completed now. 6:51. We are going to unplug and we're going to head through the karting place. I just called them now and it seems like they are open. So we're going to be able to do a session or two. Oh, I forgot that this button's broken. So when the button's broken, you actually have to go here and manually disconnect it. And we added, oh, I don't know what, oh, 53 kilowatts over 35 minutes. Okay, let's go. Our next destination is Karting Cabanas Raras. I think that's what it is. Alright, we are on our way home. I think I forgot to do a range review when we got to the karting track, but there was a pretty cool karting track. I did 2 sessions there. Got to compete with a local. He was a lot bigger than me. I think he was close to 100 kilograms. I'm only about 60 kilograms with my equipment. So he actually went in the 390cc and I went in the 270cc, and I still beat him. So that was pretty cool. I've never been to the track before. He told me that he's driving a McLaren, and I was like, yeah, okay, oh yeah, then I'm Max Verstappen driving the Red Bull. And he said, no, Yuki Tsunoda driving the Red Bull. And I was like, oh, I'll take it. But anyways, we're on the way back now, and it added a supercharger stop at Supercharger Cinzo de Limia, and we need to charge for 9 minutes there. And we are going on a route that we've never ever taken before. Basically, that's kind of one of the interesting things about driving a Tesla, and obviously using the navigation, is that it would reroute you based on, you know, how much charge you have and which supercharger you need to go to. So you get to explore different routes sometimes. Like, I definitely don't remember driving on these roads on the way here. But once we get to Ribeira de Pena supercharger, that will be the same route back to Porto, I'm sure. So enjoy the ride. I will do a range updates when we get to Cinzo de Limia, and I'll show you guys the superchargers there as well. But thank you for taking this journey with us. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you click the subscribe button and watch the other episodes in this series, which is the 5,000 kilometer road trip that we are taking around Europe in my Tesla Model Y launch edition. Okay guys, so we were like, where the hell are we? Why are we driving on these back roads of Galicia? And we realized that the car's navigating us to a charger that's on the way to Orense, and then to come back to go to Ribeira de Pena before getting to Porto. I think it's just because we don't actually have enough charge. Well, let me just try to remove it, because actually I might have enough charge. Let's see.
Drive southwest on A52 for 20.3 kilometers.
Okay, so we can actually make it. So we can skip that supercharger. Look, I really wanted to go check out that supercharger, but it is very late now and I'm tired. I'll do it for you guys next time. If we go to Orense, check out Orense in Galicia. But yeah, I'm gonna drive straight to Cabana de Pena. So we're gonna cross the Portuguese border, so we don't have to add a whole detour to our trip. Thank God I checked this, because we were like so confused. We were taking these back roads. It's very beautiful, by the way. You know, there was like a beautiful river, a lot of these towns along the river with interesting architecture that looks very different to anything I've seen before in Spain and Portugal. So it was an interesting detour, but if we had to do that, then we're going to add probably an hour to our trip. So this way we'll save a lot more time and get home a bit earlier. So I'll keep you guys up to date, so stay tuned. Before it gets too dark, I'm just going to give you guys a quick update. I had to navigate straight to the supercharger in Cabana de Pena, and then even then it was still trying to navigate me to the other charger because I wouldn't arrive with enough charge. So I had to remove all charging stops and make sure that my destination was Supercharger Cabana de Pena. As you can see, we'll arrive with 2%. And this is one of those cases where, like, they say it's better to arrive late than never, because if you drive too fast, this thing says I need to drive below 117 kilometers per hour to reach the destination. But if I drive too fast, right now I'm driving a little bit faster because I'm going downhill to get momentum. But if I drive way too fast, I might not make it. So this adage of better to arrive late than never is very prevalent if you drive an EV. So the car definitely did not want me to not stop at that other supercharger in Spain. That would have added at least an hour to the trip, and I'd rather just drive a bit more conservatively, get to Cabana de Pena with potentially 0%. I know how to manage this because it says 2% now, but as we know, if you get to 0%, you can still drive maybe 30 kilometers. So as long as the indicator stays above 0, we should arrive there comfortably. So right now it's showing 2, so that should be okay. Yeah, we're entering the bridge, over the bridge, and we are now in Portugal. And you can see all the signs have completely changed. Feels good to be back after 2 weeks of road tripping around Europe, over 5,000 kilometers. So make sure you watch all the other episodes in the series if you haven't. But this is the last episode, besides the end of series review that I'm going to do, where I look back at the journey and see what else I can do differently. For example, like in this instance, I think I would have charged a little bit more this morning so I can avoid this weird situation that we are in now. Alright, we have arrived at Ribeira de Pena and we arrived at 2%. Here is the current drive, 232 kilometers, 48.1 kilowatt hours, 2 hours and 17 minutes, 207.3 watt hours per kilometer. Towards the end, I was trying to drive more conservatively. I actually didn't drive very slow. Most of it was downhill, so I was able to speed up without losing any charge. That hit my head. Anyways, so let's charge now. These are the V2 chargers, so they do split. So make sure that if there are other chargers, people charging around you, that you leave a gap by checking which one it is. So this is 4A. So if there was someone in 4B, you should charge someone else instead of 4A. But there's clearly nobody here, as you can see. Anyways, let's see how long it's going to charge for. Okay, so it says here 40 minutes remaining. Oh, that's the charge limit because I actually haven't set my destination. I'm actually going to set my destination, Brito Cunha. That is where I need to go. That's close to my house. Cool. So I need to charge for 25 minutes continued trip, and it'll take about an hour to get there. Only 104 kilometers. I definitely won't take an hour. It'll probably take like 40 minutes max. Anyways, I'm gonna chill here for a bit, just relax. I am so tired now, and I'll give you guys an update when I get home. It is now 9:45. According to this, we'll arrive at 11, but I think we'll arrive at like 10:30 to be honest. It says 15 minutes remaining to continue trip, but I can see here that I should be able to reach home with 14%, which means that there is no reason for me to continue charging actually, because I can just charge at home for free. Not for free, but I have a home charger obviously. I don't need to worry about range, and I don't need the car immediately tomorrow anyway, so I'm gonna unplug now and leave early. So that's kind of also like a tip and trick. Basically, you can leave earlier than what it projects because you just need to see how much you get at the end when you get to the end of the trip. Why does it say trip update? It's avoid low energy. Oh, now it's telling me to stay here and charge. Let me just remove the charging stops and let's take a look. Cool, we'll arrive with 16%. That is perfectly fine with me. I don't need more than 16%. Alright, so let's start our journey and I'll see you guys when I get back home. Okay guys, we have arrived in Matosinhos, and actually it is the 2 weeks of Senhor de Matosinhos, which is the festival, and as you can see I've arrived definitely ahead of schedule, 10:49. I'm not going to drive to the final destination. I'm just going to give you guys the current drive stats right now and then. So I've driven 102.6 kilometers in 49 minutes and I consumed 21.4 kilowatt hours with an average 208 watt hours per kilometer. Admittedly I was driving quite quickly. I think I might have been trapped by one of the traps, but the crap thing was I didn't get trapped by speeding excessively. I got trapped because that was an 80 all of a sudden. I think I was driving like 100, something like that. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. If you haven't watched the other parts of the series, remember to check out the playlist and watch everything else. Also keep an eye out for the final wrap up. Oh look, it's a little stitch. That girl's got a stitch in her hand. Anyways, alright, see you guys later.